Welcome back and happy Tuesday. We have yet another incredible guest coming out of Colorado, my home state, so you know it's going to be good. This week we have Julie Rasmussen, who is founder and CEO at SheBanks, and we're going to be talking all about the opportunity for women in finance. So Julie, thanks so much for being here. Lovely to have you on the show.
Thanks, Scarlett. It's great to be here.
We've had many, as we've learned, talking a few minutes offline, a lot of different geographical overlaps in our background, which is always exciting. So I, for one, was just stunned by your background and all the things that you've been able to accomplish in your career. For all of you, as you always know, the full Q&A is below. You'll be able to read a lot about what Julie's had going on to this point. But I just wanted to start the conversation, Julie, with asking you, where did you see the opportunity, or for a better word, gaps, for women within, fintech and financial services?
That's a great question, Scarlett. And I have to say, it probably goes back to my childhood. My mother was an independent sales director for Mary Kay Cosmetics, and she joined the company in the very early years in 1968 when it was first founded. So I knew Mary Kay Ash from a very young age. She used to come to visit my house. And, I thought she was my grandmother. But fast forward 20 years, I actually was hired to open Mary Kay's corporate operations in Russia. And so I went over there in 92. And it was a time of unbelievable economic and social upheaval. And I saw firsthand how women struggled to put food on the table and buy clothes for their kids. Their husbands' jobs had been eliminated, savings were decimated. Average male life expectancy fell to 52 years. I mean, the truth of it is that men were basically drinking themselves to death. So, we provided a job opportunity for women, but still, they still struggled to manage their finances.
Yeah, what a story, and what a journey and learning that you must have had throughout that process. So if we start thinking about, the current, and with what you're working on with SheBanks and what you hear more broadly across the industry, you can't go to a conversation without talking about data. It's nothing new, but as you and I both shared offline a little bit, still a bit surprising how some of the incumbents and the traditional players are not necessarily using that data that they have in a way that, benefits the end consumer. So I would love to hear from you. How are you thinking about, how are you going to use that data to have a real benefit for that end consumer?
Well, one of the examples I like to use, and I don't want to mention any names, but for example, I've been a credit card holder of a certain company for a long, long time, for decades. They have all my data, and yet they never send me any personalized rewards or any rewards that are personalized to me. They keep sending me long lists of offers that I've never used and are just not relevant to me. So first of all, we will never sell our members' data, and we will never allow any third parties to see it. We only see data that our members allow us to see. But within the data they do allow us to see, we have very powerful analytical capabilities inside of our personal financial management app, so that we can suggest rewards to our members for things that they really use and that can really help their lifestyles and that will be meaningful to them. And we also want to take the friction out of it. We want to send you 27 different things and say, hey, here, spend a few hours, going through all these rewards and see if you like any of them. We're going to say, look, Scarlett, we see that you frequent this establishment on a regular basis. And on your behalf, we've negotiated this special deal for you here. Would you like to have it? So hopefully that will delight you and bring you joy instead of more frustration and aggravation.
And I think both of those ideas of delight and bringing joy, I try to combine them into one word. Delight and bringing joy are kind of, the opposite of what most people think of when they think about their relationship with their finances and their relationship with, the other players within that ecosystem. So just elaborating a minute and kind of going down another level on the personalization piece. How and why is that personalization aspect so important in this process? What have you heard from your potential customers? What have you heard from, the other people within your team? How are you thinking about personalization and the importance of it?
Well, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, in surveys, women report that the financial industry is one of the very lowest in terms of their trust in the financial industry and their desire to interact with it. So it certainly does not bring women joy. It brings them a sense of confusion, trepidation, distrust. It's not a positive association at all. Furthermore, whoever, I've never really heard anybody say, "Oh, I'm so excited. I love saving money. I just saved another $100, which in 30 years from now, will compound and I'll be able to retire." Saving money is really boring. So we want to use principles of behavioral finance to make this much more engaging and fun, and to say, all right, look, you're increasing your financial wellness. Let us give you some benefits in the here and now today that can make this more exciting. I mean, this is just basic gamification. And why this is so important is precisely for that reason, because when you receive rewards that are meaningful to you, certain centers in your brain will light up. You're getting a dopamine hit, basically, but it's for something that's good for you, right? It's not something like, oh, gee, I'm not supposed to be doing this, even though it makes me really happy and brings me joy. This is something that is only good for you in every way. And so that's why it is so important that these rewards be personalized, because otherwise they don't set off that dopamine center in your brain. They don't have any meaning for you, and it's not going to create a positive behavioral change or a positive feedback loop.
That makes a lot of sense. And even to the example you gave earlier, where any one of the providers people maybe have a history of interacting with, it's like, oh, pick one of 100 options. Now you're putting the onus on me and the work on me. You're supposed to be making my life easier and more exciting. This is supposed to be a gift and a treasure, not something that requires more work, especially for busy women, busy men, busy everyone. But yes, I love that idea, and I could certainly use some personalized rewards for some of my spending behaviors, and it won't be surprising where those end up going. So, anyways, Julie, really appreciate the time. Lots more. I'm sure there is so many of you who want to hear about what Julie's up to with SheBanks. Please click on the link below. You will see the full Q&A, lots of insights, and if you have any questions, Julie's here, happy to answer. Thank you so much, Julie. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Scarlett.
For the rest of you, see you next time.